Hey everybody, so today I want to do a quick video to talk about Reason Studios and their new update, Reason 14, which is supposed to be coming out in May 2026. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I have been a Reason user for a long time. I use it as my primary DAW. I've been using it since Reason 2, like 25 years. I don't know when it first came out. It was been a long time ago. And I have used other DAWs in my life, and this isn't a this DAW or that DAW kind of conversation. It's basically just, I continue to go back to Reason because it's just the software that I feel the fastest with. It's most intuitive to me. I get things done quicker, and every time I go to another DAW, I spend more time just reorienting myself, getting used to it, that I just kind of go back to Reason to get the thing done. So for me, I just kind of stick with Reason because it's what I know. And I've been, there have been ups and downs in my experience with Reason. There's been good updates, there's been bad updates, there's been good news, bad news. Obviously, just recently they announced that they were acquired by the plugin company Lander, which I was pretty surprised about. I had obviously, like many people, had some concerns about, but I think that based on this first sort of set of big news after this acquisition, the Reason 14 update, I'm really actually pretty happy with the direction in which this is going. I'm just going to take a few minutes to go through some of the updates here that they're going to be offering in the new update in May. They're basically, there's nothing mind-blowing about them, which I like that actually. There's very smart updates to mostly the sequencer, and they're just things that exist in other DAWs that have been around for a while that really just make sense. Okay, why don't they have these in Reason? And now they're just kind of adding them, little features that are just streamline the workflow, make them much more usable. And so I'm really kind of happy to see where this is going, and I hope Reason continues with that. So without further ado, let's kind of dig in really quickly. So I saw this video pop up here yesterday. When did it come out? Yeah, like yesterday, announcing the Reason 14 updates. I'm not going to play the video here. You can watch it yourself. I'll link to it in the show notes. But anyway, they just kind of go through the new features. There's not even any description. It's just some audio, some music, and some feature updates. But if we go to the website here, it says new in Reason 14. There's a video here, and the first thing that I saw is just basically this new sort of organizational process that really kind of makes a lot of sense to me. So now you're going to be able to basically click on a track. The track is going to show all the sort of devices that are connected to that track right here with a new fader knob, which I've seen this in other DAWs before. It's a nice feature, so it's nice that they have this now in Reason, and it just allows you to see the actual devices, and then I think it's going to open up the rack right to that device here. So it's going to allow you to, well, using Reason is kind of a lot of jumping back and forth between different screens, and that's always been really annoying. It's really kind of slowed down the workflow and the creative process, and this kind of streamlines that a little bit. You just kind of click and it opens the thing contextually to where it is. So contextual window opening here is really a nice feature, and I'm really just happy about that. Also, just the ability to see your tracks, see your fader, your mixer control here. It's just nice. It's just useful. Next step here they're talking about is basically just track folders, which has been in tons of different DAWs for a long time. I never knew why they didn't have track folders. I would love to use track folders. In this case, they finally have track folders. So, woohoo, thanks Reason. We now have track folders, which is very cool. Next step that you're going to see here is they have a new sort of black interface, which is nice. I mean, I'm not too picky about the interface colors, obviously, but to go darker is nice. And as a default, it's just kind of nice to have that visual functionality to help with your eyes, obviously, especially if you're grinding on a mix for a long period of time. But, it's a simple thing, but it really helps just kind of make it much more intuitive, makes it feel better, especially if you like the darker interface look. One thing that has been missing, obviously, in Reason for a long time is just tempo detection to import MIDI notes. So you can import an audio clip, and it's going to detect the tempo, and it's going to adjust it, and it's great. Very simple feature that exists in other DAWs, and it's just really nice to have. I was actually looking for this feature 3 days ago when I recorded a clip. I imported a drum track, some drum audio that I was going to write MIDI over, and it took me forever to slide the thing around, and I ended up having to chop the thing up and use the chopping function to get this thing to line up, in which case this would have been a nice feature just to line it right to the tempo. I could have picked the tempo, could have adjusted it right from there, and then added the MIDI notes right there. That would have been great. So this feature I could have used a week ago specifically. I think for the most part, the only other update right now is a new reverb, which I'm pretty happy about. Reason has been well known for basically just releasing some kind of new synth every 3 to 6 months or so. And I'm not a huge synth guy. I mean, I use them, but for the most part, I have 1 or 2 that I use. I don't need tons and tons of vintage synths and, duplicates of vintage synths and stuff. So, it's great if you're a synth person, but for me, I like other features. And in this case, an updated reverb is great. And there's some really cool audio demos here that sound really good. So I'm really looking forward to a really nice, useful reverb, which, the other reverbs were nice, but in this case, an updated reverb with some nice functionality, some nice EQ on there. That's just really nice to have. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's about it, basically. There are some other sound expansion updates, some drum samples, some Europa patches, some other reverb patches. Not a massive amount of features, but the features that they are adding are very smart. So again, I'm really happy about this update coming out. I hope it's just solid as Reason has been in the past. It's another reason I use it is because it always just works. It never crashes or not very much. It's always just a really reliable, solid DAW, and that's why I use it. And so these features to make it all the more useful in a very smart, strategic way, I think is a really great move and really shows that I don't know how much Lander had in impacting these updates, but if that's the case, then that's proving to me that that's a great decision that Reason made to be acquired by them. So in any case, this is a good overall impression of Reason's next steps, and I hope this continues, and I'm really looking forward to the update in May. So thank you, Reason Studios. This is really inspiring and really increases my confidence in the software that I've been using primarily as my main DAW forever and ever and ever. So these updates, I think, are available if anybody bought Reason since March, I guess that is. If you have Reason Studios as a subscription base, it's automatically going to be available as soon as it comes out. So it seems like everybody will pretty much have a lot of access to this as soon as it comes out. They didn't say when in May, they just said May, so I hope it's soon, but I'm really looking forward to this, and I think it's a really smart move for Reason. So with that said, really simple video here. Just want to talk about these updates. Keep them on your radar. Set your calendar for May 2026 sometime, and once I get the actual update, I'm going to try to do a little bit more extensive video on this because, like I said, man, I could have used this thing. I could use this last week. So with that said, I'm Sean Early. This is the Reason 14 update, which is coming out in May. And one last thing, if you would be so inclined, if you enjoy these videos, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe and follow and share this with all your friends. It really helps this channel grow, and it really helps keep me making great content for you. So I will talk to you soon. Bye.